For 40-plus years, Bob Zamora reigned over Capistrano Valley High School baseball. 3 years ago, he passed on the leadership role to former player Adam Sorgi. Today, I'm joined by Coach Sorgi and two fine players. They line the infield at first and third. Max McGwire plays first, while Matt Dobson is at third. Today we talk baseball, Cougars baseball. I'm Paul Higgins, this is Coach's Corner, and all the action starts right now. On location at Capistrano Valley High School in the city of Mission Viejo. Capo opened up in 1977 with 1,326 students. Today it's our host site to talk high school baseball as we begin with Coach Adam Sorgi. Coach, great to see you. And I know it's been an interesting year, your third year here. First of all, I have to say congratulations, because the last time I saw you, you were leaving Santa Margarita and you were coming here. You got to be pleased with what you're doing.
Yeah, it's really a dream come true for me to come back home. Being a former alumni of Capo Valley, this is where I wanted to be. Santa Margarita was an amazing place for me for 5 years, but this is where I wanted to be. This is where I'm excited to be, and it really has been a great 3 years, although it's flown by.
It's crazy to think that Bob Zamora was the head coach as long as he was. I think you and I were just talking about 40 plus years, I think 42, if our math is somewhat correct, but he's still here with you helping out. Your thoughts? You used to play shortstop here, you used to play on this field as a kid, and now you're coaching kids. Is that surreal for you?
Yeah, it really is, even just walking down the hallways. But, you know, Coach Zamora is a huge inspiration to me when I was a player, somebody that I leaned on when I was up, playing in the college and professionally. And then when I started my coaching career, I contacted him to get some advice. And so to be able to come back here and have his advice on a daily basis and work alongside with him on this beautiful field that he takes so much pride in is just, it's amazing. And I'm very honored and I'm very lucky to have a mentor like that and be able to come after him.
I'm going to meet some great athletes. We're going to meet some great athletes on today's show. But looking at the history of athletes that have gone on from this baseball field to either get scholarships or play professional is quite impressive. You're one of those.
Yeah, it really is amazing. I mean, it shows the depth and the talent that we've had here, but it also shows the dedication to the kids in this program. Us as coaches, Zamora and I would agree that it's up to the players to do that, and I think something that we do is that we really try and make sure that they work hard when they're here and give them the best opportunity to succeed at the next level, give them the flexibility to be able to play multiple positions, but also work really hard on their craft. And, all the credit to the players, but yeah, we've had a lot of guys be very successful, and we're really proud of them.
I know that baseball changes. We watch the Major League on TV, and you hear about the ball, you hear about different things, right? Has baseball changed since you've been here? And if it has, how has it changed?
Absolutely. There's been a key put on travel baseball, and it's not necessarily a negative thing. It's just different. The guys come in a little bit less aware of how to play the game as a team, but they're much more talented in their skills. So you have a lot of guys throwing harder, hitting the ball further, but they also at the same time don't necessarily know how to bunt, so they don't necessarily know how to move runners over. And so that's our job as high school, is to be able to refine them more in the team game, because when you're talking about travel baseball, it's much more about individual exposure. And I think when they get here, it's been impressive to see how great they are as athletes, really putting it together and playing year-round in baseball. But we work on the team aspect here so we can put together a successful product.
Your thoughts? I know that you played infield, you played shortstop. What other positions did you play as a high school athlete?
I played second base. I also played center field. So I kind of jumped around a little bit. And I think in our program, we try and do that. When I got to college, I was mostly a shortstop here, and we had a guy get hurt in college, and I got to play some third base, and then I ended up playing second base in pro ball after my shoulder surgery. So we put a premium on trying to get guys out there. If you're going to hit, you're going to play, and you got to be as flexible as possible, because you never know where you're going to end up.
So I know that you went on to play college, and you had a little drink of the water, right, in the big time.
Yeah.
How do you stay there? When guys get there, how do they stay there? You watch games and say, oh, so-and-so went down, AAA or AA, and then he's going to be brought back up. Can you explain that? And then how do you share that with your athletes here that want to repeat what you did?
I think it's managing failure. I think in baseball, it's probably one of the few games that is predicated all on failure. And what I mean by that is that to be a successful hitter, you fail 7 out of 10 times. And if you were to look at that in any other sport, you wouldn't have guys shooting 7 out of 10 times and missing and being a Hall of Famer. In baseball, it is. So it's really about trying to stay neutral. And I think that that's a big key in our program here, is we try and not get too high, not get too low. I think that if there's any advice for players out there, it's let's make sure we stay in the moment. What can you do to get yourself better for that next at-bat or that next opportunity that you're going to have? And I think that bodes well. Is if you get too high when you be successful or get too low when you're not doing well, you're going to really struggle in this game for the long haul.
You and I were just talking about, the philosophy of baseball and the psychology of baseball. Your thoughts, what is your philosophy about Cougar baseball? What is the Adam Sorgi approach when you talk to the young athletes that come in?
I think about being excited to play the game. And, my players know me as more of a cerebral mental coach. I really try and get a mental edge over the other opponent. I do a lot of scouting reports. I do a lot of the prep work ahead of time. But it's really just being able to have fun within the rules of the game and enjoying that. I think when they come in here, number one, they know they expect to work hard and they have to keep up their academics, but also enjoy it as well. I don't want this to feel like a college program just yet. I don't want this to feel like a pro program. I want this to feel like high school, and I want the guys to enjoy their experience. I want them to go, and do things in theater arts. I want them to be a part of the drama program. I want them to be in TV production. I want them to be, something other than just baseball players here. And I think that keeps it fresh for them. And if anything I can say is I want them to enjoy their high school experience and just have baseball be one part of that.
I know that baseball on the high school level is played with the aluminum bat. With these athletes becoming just amazing kids at this young age, do you ever see the aluminum bat being phased out? I know it's a cost factor, but would that ever happen, or would the bat change? Because it's coming off, the ball is coming off the bat pretty fast.
Well, one of the guys they're going to interview hits the ball as hard as I've ever seen anybody hit in high school baseball, Max McGwire. So yeah, even somebody who's doing front toss, you're like, wow, that ball's coming off really hard. I think they'll change the equipment rather than go to wood. I think wood will penalize the players a little bit too much, and given the amount of cost it would be for breaking of the bats and things. However, I can see that they're going to continue moving forward with changing the bats to make them potentially a little bit less impactful on the ball, or maybe even changing the ball. And when baseball changes, we'll adjust as well.
Do they ever ask you these questions, like maybe a high school association? Do they come to you and say, "What do you think? What improvements can we make?" And then do the kids ever talk about that as well, or do they just come out and play?
Most of the time they come out and play. There is NFHS reaches out to us, or the high school committee reaches out to us every year and does a survey on umpiring and various rules and gives our input. How much we actually affected, I'm not sure, right? I don't know. It might be going to a dead drop box somewhere. But they do ask us our input, and I'm happy to give that input. But for the most part, I think it's going to be made on a national level rather than an association level.
So when you walk from the main campus to this field, every step that you take, do you get a little bit more excitement? Does the adrenaline get a little bit more pumping for you as you approach this field?
Absolutely. I mean, this is where I have so many of my wonderful memories from growing up. To be honest, this was my sanctuary for 4 years in my adolescent years. And whenever I step on this field and I get excited to have a key to open up this field whenever I want, and I can be here whenever I want, is something that's amazing for me. And I'm truly lucky to have that experience.
I interviewed a former professional football player recently, and I said, "What was your most exciting part of your career?" And he said, "High school." For you?
100%. 2001, being a part of that CIF championship team as a sophomore. I recently just watched our banquet video on an old VHS. Was just so amazing. Just the friends that I've made from that team, the hard work, the dedication that went into it, the excellence of how well we played on this field shows me that we have the ability in this program to beat anybody, and we're striving to chase that 2001 team and continue to try and win championships.
Well, this is a celebration of Cougar baseball for the show, and I think you've done my first trifecta with a guest on my show. I had you on as a young person at 12 years old,
yep.
And then I had you on a few years ago for the reunion,
yep.
And now you're back as a coach.
Yep.
Pretty darn cool.
Couldn't be more honored. I'm excited to be here. As soon as I got the email from you, I got fired up and I got excited, and I am really excited to see you again. I know that we had an opportunity to work together for a year, but being on the show has been a huge staple. I can't thank, obviously, you guys enough for covering local sports. To me, it's something that I look forward to watching, the shows that you have, but also being on here. And so I'm lucky that you got to choose us and showcase us, and I'm excited for the boys to experience the excitement of being on camera with you.
Well, congratulations, and we'll do this again and again.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
man.
good job.
For a fourth, and we'll be in. Sounds great.
That's awesome.
All right.
His dad is the legendary Mark McGuire. Max McGwire is blazing a path all his own. His calm approach to the game serves him both on and off the field. Discover what Max enjoys as an elective in school and his mindset when he steps in the batter's box. My conversation with Max McGwire is next. It's the best summer broadcasting camp of its kind. The YTN 2021 Summer Broadcasting Camp is now accepting reservations. Don't wait and reserve your spot now. Email us your contact information to theytn.org/camp. Receive real broadcast experience that includes play-by-play, analyst, sideline reporter, studio host, and more.
The YTN broadcast camp was really fun. It was probably one of the funnest camps I've done all summer.
The YTN Broadcast Camp. Reserve your spot now. Max, I know you know the subject of baseball pretty well, right?
Yes.
But you were just telling me that ceramics is on your target too.
Yes, I'm taking online ceramics. Actually, pretty fun class for online, but yeah, making some cool things in there.
Okay, so tell me this. I'm trying to envision online ceramics. Yeah. Tell me how that works.
He's doing a pretty good job of it, my teacher, and sort of got his own setup at school, and he'll sort of just videotape what he's doing, tell us what to do, watch some videos, and then he gave us some clay blocks in the beginning of the year, and we took those home and just make it at home.
That's very cool. That's very cool. So graduating from Capistrano Valley, does it seem surreal to you that you've already gone through 4 years of high school?
Oh man, it went by so quick. It feels like freshman year was just the other day.
Does it?
Yeah, I can't believe that I'm a senior now. Graduating, and it's crazy.
Yeah, by the time this airs, playoffs will probably be over and you're going to be on your way. Now you're going to go to Oklahoma.
Yes.
Tell me your thoughts about selecting that school and your expectations.
Well, they saw me going into my junior year summer, and went up there for a camp. Really had a good bond with the coaches, got along, got to really see what they're all about, got to see how they did it, and then also went there on a visit, watched some practices, really talked with the coaches, had a really good bond with them. And for me, I mean, that's huge for me, and that was a great fit for me. So
first base, will you play first base, do you think, in college, or?
Yes, that's where they like me at. But I also play outfield as well, third base too. But one of the coaches there always said, you know, what makes a good infield really good is having a good first baseman. It makes it great, you know what I mean? You can pick all those balls. So.
And you know, first base is certainly, it's complicated.
Yes.
Yeah, it really is. People are like, oh, you're just getting balls from people. No, it's not. I was watching a game the other day, ball hit over first base, he runs out, right fielder coming in, and they collide. And on the professional level, and you always hear growing up in the Little League, call the ball, right? Yes. And how do you avoid that as a first baseman and a right fielder? I mean, it happens so fast.
Yeah, I think it's just the communication is key. I know a lot of people like to say ball, but if you say ball, and the other guy's saying ball, you know, you can't really hear them. We're like in the big leagues, a lot of the guys say I got it, because the syllables are different, and then you can hear if someone else is talking because it's so loud. And I think it's just really this communication, going after it, and you know, and also knowing priority. You know, if the outfielder's calling it, get out of his way, let him take it.
Boy, you know, that's better, you know, analysis than I've heard on ESPN. You got a career in broadcasting.
Thank you.
So what do you think that you might want to study in college? Say the baseball thing doesn't work out and you don't get to where what do you see yourself maybe going into? What interests you? We laughed about it, but ceramics, but what else out there does it interest?
No, really, I'm really interested in like the stock market, you know, basically growing money, how all that works. That's what really interests me, if I would do that.
Are you learning that here? Is that something that here at Capo, or is that something you're learning elsewhere?
Yeah, not necessarily here, just on my own, really. Yeah. Sort of got interests on my own. So.
You got any tips for me right now?
No. No
I'm watching the show.
I know the whole like Bitcoin stuff's crazy, but I've got no clue on that.
Well, that's so funny because I'm watching this show on Netflix, a series called Startup, and it's got to do with some of that. So you should watch it. It's probably pretty good.
I'll check it out.
So we were jokingly saying, you know, I had Coach Sorgy on my show when he was a youth baseball player, and then of course had him on a reunion of the World Series, Little League World Series, and today. You really like him, huh?
Yes, he's a great coach. As soon as I got here, I mean, it was eye-opening. He just lets the players play, and he runs the team really well, and really good communication with the players, and that's huge for me again too.
Yeah. Your thoughts, would you ever want to coach one day? I mean, are you coaching at all right now, the younger freshmen coming in?
Not really, but I do, I do give tips to a lot of players and help, always spreading knowledge, especially from my experience with my dad and being with him and big league clubhouses and stuff I've learned, always passing it on. So, what do you know about the plate that when you're up there, do you go through a series of things, checklists in your head before you get a pitch? Can you tell me about that? Everyone has their own quirks and things that they go through. Do you have something that you go through? It's just really simple, keeping it really simple. If you're thinking a lot up there, it's not going to be good. You're trying to do something up there, you're going to dig yourself in your own hole. I mean, I try to keep it simple. A good routine I usually step in there, I feel my feet underneath me, feel a strong base. Then it's just from there, I trust my work, everything I put in, and see ball, hit ball, just react to it basically.
In this at-bat in the playoffs against Chaminade, Max went through his simple routine at the plate. He digs in, leans back in a wide stance, gets set, and makes contact with the ball. He would beat out the ball, eventually scoring the first run of the game for Capistrano Valley. And then, later in the bottom of the fourth, Max did what his dad did often in the big leagues. He drills this one over the fence for a solo home run to start off the bottom of the fourth. Max and the Cougars went on to win this game 8-3 over Chaminade. But how about the young boy that found the ball? All right, Thomas, what do you got there, bud?
Max McGuire's son baseball.
And Max McGwire's home run ball, right? Let me see where it says CIS. Nice. That's a good ball. You got to keep that thing.
Yeah.
All right, congratulations. Good find, buddy. All right.
See you.
Are you in favor of the infield shift that's happening? Let me ask you that as a fielder, and then let me ask you that as a batter. You know how they shift now, they don't stay in their positions.
Yeah. Scouting
comes in a big. I might put some people out of jobs here, but tell me as a fielder, are you in favor of that?
It's funny because, a lot of people are saying, the offense has been declining a lot in the big leagues, and they think, oh, we need to move the mound back, the pitcher are too dominant. But really, if you just take the shift away, all those hits, the average will be back to normal, be fine. All those left-handed hits and all that stuff, I think it's a big thing is the shift is taking away a lot of hits. And if you want to solve that problem, just take away the shift. You and I are getting along real good right now. Yeah.
So as a batter,
yeah,
kind of frustrating if they know where you're going to hit, or you have a tendency. God gives you that ability to do that, right?
Yeah.
Not everybody's Tony Gwynn or Ted Williams or your dad that can hit the ball out of the ballpark. Yeah. So as a batter, it's a little frustrating, huh?
Yeah, especially, yeah. You're forcing, let's say, the right side's open, but he's throwing you inside, what can you do with that pitch? How much different do you think the college level will be from the high school level? I think it would be a lot different. Each level you go, it's just faster and quicker, and you have to get used to that. So it will take time to get used to it, but yeah, the velo is going to be up. Guys are everyone's going to know how to hit, everyone's going to know how to pitch, and as you keep going up, the level of play is a lot better. So you just mentioned to me that you have triplet sisters, 10 years old. Yes. And they're all in soccer. Yes. If you weren't playing baseball, what sport would you be in? I'd probably be doing golf. Okay. Yeah. Love golf, yeah. You good short game, long game? Love hitting the driver. I would say my wedges are good too, so yeah. Love letting the big dog eat. Hey, you might have a career in there, right? You never know. Yeah, you never know. Thoroughly enjoyed talking to you today. Good luck at Oklahoma. I know you're going to do great things, and thanks for coming to Capital. I'm an alum here, and it's great to see you here. Thank you for having me. Yeah, you got it, man. That was awesome. That was awesome. He secures the other corner in the infield. Senior Matt Dobson plays third base and is the leadoff hitter for the Cougars. He joins me next as our discussion of Cougars baseball continues. This is Coach's Corner. I'm Paul Higgins, and we'll be right back. It's the best summer broadcasting camp of its kind. The YTN 2021 Summer Broadcasting Camp is now accepting reservations. Don't wait and reserve your spot now. Email us your contact information to theytn.org/camp. Receive real broadcast experience that includes play-by-play, analyst, sideline reporter, studio host, and more.
The YTN broadcast camp was really fun. It was probably one of the funnest camps I've done all summer.
The YTN Broadcast Camp. Reserve your spot now. Matt, third base, number 11. I'm always curious on how players pick their jersey number. Did you pick it, or did the coach assign it to you?
Personally, I picked it because the number 11, my sister wore that in high school and in college too, so it kind of runs in the family, so I thought I'd wear it.
What sport did she play?
She played volleyball and a little bit of softball in high school, and then she went to Cal Lutheran and played volleyball there as well. She actually won a national championship there.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is so cool. So Matt, how did you select baseball? Was that your first sport?
I kind of flip-flopped between baseball and soccer. I usually liked playing baseball more, and my brother kind of got me into actually, playing baseball a lot more than soccer, so he kind of got me into baseball. So.
Yeah. And I was just kidding around with you, and I said, don't be nervous. You said, I'm not nervous. And then I said about baseball, you don't get nervous?
No, not really. I mean, obviously in pressure situations I'll get a little bit, but yeah. I like the pressure, I want to be the guy that comes up in those situations.
So you thrive off that?
Oh, absolutely.
And at third base, that's a hot spot.
So you got to be ready at all times.
Tell me about the double play in high school. You see it so easily, not easily, but it is a very tough play on any level. But in high school, do you make them as often as you want? And tell me how difficult that is.
Honestly, it doesn't happen that often. It's a hard play to do because a lot of these guys are pretty fast. So you got to be really quick if you want to turn it. So yeah.
Now, did you select third base, or did third base select you? You know what I mean?
Honestly, I think it selected me. It kind of was screaming at me to go there, and ever since I played there, it just stuck. So.
What is it about that? As I look over your shoulder, it's ironic that's third base. That's your little home over there. What is it about that spot that you like?
Personally, I like the ball getting hit to me a lot, and it comes over there a lot of the time. And people hit it hard over there, and I like making great plays. So. And I always want the ball, and I want to be able to make those plays all the time.
Coach and I were talking about the aluminum bat and how fast that ball comes off that bat, and maybe if there might be changes in the future. Does that ever concern you, how fast that ball comes at you guys? It's different than wood, right?
Yeah, it is. Personally, it doesn't affect me. I don't really look at it like that. I just try to field the ball no matter what.
So you were at SM, came here. This seems like a really good fit for you. And tell me your thoughts about with Coach Sorgi, knowing that Coach Zamora was here for so long. Yeah. Coach Sorgi kind of came in with you in one aspect, right? You guys are right hand in hand somewhat. Tell me about that experience and knowing that you're being taught and coached by somebody that actually played here and did really well in his baseball career.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because he was a JV coach at SM when I was a freshman, and so I kind of knew him before I came here, which obviously helped. So he was like a big influence on me coming here because I already knew him, so that obviously would help. And Zamora, wow. I can't say, there's only so much I can say about him.
Yeah, I was looking at the list of athletes that have graduated and gone on to, I don't know if you've been on your website to see the athletes that you guys have. Pretty insane how many great athletes have played here. What are your aspirations as you get ready to go off to college, and can you share us where you're going?
I'm going to Grand Canyon University. It's up in Phoenix, Arizona. Yeah. So I'm hoping to walk on there. That's my goal, because it's obviously been hard to recruit over these past 2 years. So hoping I can, get a spot in there to play.
In your opinion, what is the difference when you play third base to be recognized at that level?
Honestly, I think you have to be ready at all times. You have to be quick on your feet. You have to have a good glove, a good arm. I think all those are pretty big aspects of third baseman.
To play in college, are the scouts looking for what you do at the plate? Are they looking to do what you're doing on the infield or your position? How does that work out?
I think it's both. I think they need an all-around player, a guy who can hit, and a guy who can play defense. I think that's what they're looking for.
Yeah, and you can hit.
Yeah, I think so.
Tell me about when you're up at the plate, your approach. I was talking to Max about his approach, and he's probably talked to you about it too. What are you thinking about when you go up there?
Well, every pitch I'm usually hunting fastball. I don't really try to look off speed. It doesn't really help me. But I don't like to think about hitting a pitch. I just like to focus on my swing and try to hit the zone. And no matter where the ball is placed in the strike zone, I just try to hit it.
Do you anticipate the pitch, meaning do you know what's coming by the feel of the pitcher?
Sometimes, yeah, I do. And I don't know, they give off tendencies sometimes, like 0-2, they'll go curveball, and then the guy before me, he'll do the same thing. So I kind of pick up on that during the game.
And do you guys talk about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so maybe if something happened with you, you grounded out, the next guy coming up, you can say something to him.
Yeah, someone recognizes something, we'll let each other know and could help them potentially in their next at bat.
Yeah, this is a total team sport, right? I mean, it's individuals playing their positions, but it's 9 guys up against 1 guy at the plate.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. If you can hit the ball 3 out of 10 times, you're in the major leagues.
It's a crazy sport. It's one of the hardest ones out there, and you got to be tough mentally. It's really tough on you, but yeah.
Interesting you said that, because Coach said basically it's a game of failure, right?
Yep.
And if you're not acceptable to that, it might not be the sport for you. Your thoughts about the mental side of baseball, does Coach prepare you for that, or is that something that you really have to prepare yourself for?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's obviously some personal preparation, but I think he helps us a lot with coping with that failure and realizing that it's a part of the game, and failure is like your best learner. That's what my biggest thing I got from him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How much fun do you have playing the game?
Wow, I never felt better in my life playing the game. It takes me out of every moment, and I don't know, I love it.
Ultimate dream for you if you were to go on. Tell me about that.
Playing the bigs, I got to set the standard high, you know.
Yeah. Backup plan, plan B. What would that be? What do you enjoy?
I don't know. I'm actually engineering, or being an engineer in college, so something with like software and stuff like that. So that would be my second option, but I got to stick with my number 1.
Yeah, I had you as a freshman, right?
Yes.
You reminded me of that. You've grown up since then. I didn't even recognize you. I'm proud of you, proud of what you're doing. You're going to go on to do great things, and any coach is lucky to have you. So Grand Canyon's going to have you, and then somebody else after that's going to have you. Congratulations on everything you're doing.
Thank you.
All right, man. Thanks for being on the show.